Find the solution of the system of equations. We have 5x plus 2y equals 18 and 5x minus y is equal to 36. Anytime you have something lined up in this format where you have the x's lined up, the y's lined up, and then the constant terms lined up, you want to use a strategy called elimination. And the goal of elimination is we want to get rid of the x's or the y's and then solve for the remaining variable. So for the level 1 questions that we're working on today, I want you to focus on either having the same or opposite. So I'm just going to write that down. We're either looking for the same or we're looking for opposite. Now the easiest case is where you have opposite. When you have the opposite, it's super easy to cancel. When it's the same, there's a little bit of a trick. So notice over here, I have 5x and 5x, and that falls under the category of the same. So the hint that you're going to have to do is when something is the same, you want to multiply it by a -1. And by multiplying something that's the same by -1, you're going to change it to the opposite. So I'm going to go ahead and just rewrite this equation on the top. I'm going to multiply it by -1. And normally I move it to the right, but I'm just going to move it over here to the left. So let's see, -1 times 5x is -5x. -1 times 2y is -2y. And then -1 times 18 is -18. We already have 5x on the bottom, which is the opposite, so we're just going to rewrite the bottom equation just underneath it. Again, you could add a 1 here if you find that helpful. And now that I have opposites here, we can use elimination. So let's draw our horizontal line indicating that we're going to add the equations together now. And let's see, we have, -18 and 36. That's going to leave me with a positive 18. -2y, -1y is -3y. And then the -5x and the positive 5x, they will cancel out. Again, but we already kind of knew that. After that, I'm going to divide by -3 on each side. And I would simplify that to y is equal to -6. Now that we know what our y value is, all we have to do is substitute this -6 in for y either in the top equation or the bottom equation, and it really doesn't matter. I started with the top one, so I'm just going to go back to the top one. And then I'm just going to rewrite this equation over here in this spot right here. So I'm going to put 5x plus 2, parentheses. Now notice the parentheses. This is where I'll substitute -6 in for y because our equation said y equals -6, equal to 18. So we'll simplify this. We'll distribute the 2 to the -6, so it'll be 5x minus 12 is equal to 18. Then I'll add 12 on each side. Cancels, and I have 5x is equal to 30. Then we'll divide by 5 on each side, and I have x is equal to 6. I solved for x and for y. I'm going to list it as an ordered pair. I'm going to put 6, comma, -6. And that's one solution. Let me go ahead and box that. I like boxing it just to keep things organized. So that's the first case. So just a quick reminder, I noticed that 5x and 5x is the same. So I multiplied one of the equations by a -1 to get the opposite. Now let's go to our next example here. Now notice over here, I'm going to again write the hints for today's lesson is we're either going to get the same or we're going to have opposite. If it's the same, please remember if something is the same, we said we're going to go ahead and multiply it by -1. Oops, sorry, wrong way. So if we end up having the same, we're going to multiply it by -1. If it's the opposite, we're going to leave it alone. And notice right here, 8x and -8x, those are opposites. -3y, -5y, those aren't opposites, but it's already set up. And then notice that you have 2 over 46. So because we have 8x and -8x, we're just going to add the equations together. We don't have to do a single thing. They gave you basically an easy question to work on. But everybody needs a break once in a while. So 8x minus 8x cancels. -3y minus 5y is -8y. and then 2 and 46 is going to give us 48. Then we'll divide by -8 on each side. This will simplify to y, and then 48 divided by -8 is -6. Now that I found out that my y value is equal to -6, I'll substitute that into, I'm going to go the top equation because I think that 2 is a little bit easier than 46. So I'm going to substitute right here. Since that's y, and it's stated that y equals -6, I'm going to put that in over here. And I'll just move that to the side. 8x minus 3, parentheses, in goes -6, is equal to 2. I'm going to have to go ahead and distribute here. So -3 distributed to -6, that's going to result in 8x plus 18 is equal to 2. Then I'll subtract 18 on each side. Cancels. 8x is now equal to a -16, and then finally divide by 8 on each side, and we find out that x, it simplifies to x there, -16 divided by 8 is -2, and so we have our final solution. So I'm going to put ordered pair. I have -2, comma, -6, and that's it. So one more time, just a quick review. When you're looking at the equations today, if you have the opposite, just add it. So notice 8x and -8x was the opposite. We added it. It canceled. That's good. In the first example we did is we had a 5x and a 5x, and those were the same. So we multiplied the top equation by -1 to get the opposite. That's it. Thanks for viewing, and hopefully you found it helpful.